Hey guys, subscribe for daily content. And if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I have a very interesting unboxing video to share with you guys. I am incorrect about things sometimes, and usually this ends up, the end result of it is something really, really cool. A long time ago, a bunch of people said, hey, have you heard about the Ontario Rat 1.5 in Magna Cut? It's less than $100. And I immediately said, I don't trust that at all. There wasn't a single cell in my body that thought, yes, that is probably heat treated correctly. And to be fair, this was during a time period where I had a million other examples of this being true. Magna Cut in the earlier days was being heat treated anywhere from comically low, like 57, There were companies trying this or that, and a lot of companies kind of came out and started hitting it, 60 to 62. And I thought, for under $100, there is no way. And it didn't come out that long ago, but I just thought the combination of elements here, especially with the Ontario Knife Company, like we learned that their D2 was like super soft. And I thought, I think the Rat has had its day. I don't trust it, right? And here comes Taylor. My good friend Taylor, who's been down in the comments section telling us about HRC hardness. He has the professional testing equipment, the website, which you can find linked at the very bottom of my description. And I come across his listing of the Ontario Rat 1.5 in Magna Cut. And he tested it at 63.7. What the f***? Are you kidding me? That is ridiculous. So I thought, okay, if that's legitimately where they're hitting it, then this is an absolute must buy. It also would make for interesting content because this is apparently an in-between size between the large and small, and I haven't covered an Ontario product in like 5 years. So we're going to open it up today. It's just an unboxing and first impressions. This is not a review, not in any way, shape, or form a review, but we're going to take it out and look at it. I want to see what their quality's like in 2026. Thanks so much to my patrons for supporting me. Make sure your notifications are turned on for the Metal Complex YouTube channel. And thanks to Taylor, because without his testing, I would have completely forgotten about this knife. Like, absolutely forgotten about it. All right, the box and the bubble wrap, there's nothing really there's nothing special going on here, and I honestly don't really care about it. All I care about is the knife itself. These are now in G10. I saw an absolutely hilarious Blade HQ review on this knife. It was a 3-star review, and I thought, oh gosh, I wonder what's wrong. And the guy was like, the knife is fine, and it's really sharp and all that, but the texture, it messes up my pocket, so I'm going to give it 3 stars. Why do people leave, like, that's a preference. Like, it's not a review, I don't know. Some people might go, well, actually, that's helpful for me, but my idea of, leaving a lower star review is when you have a problem that is universally bad for everybody, right? If you're just like, I don't like things that are blue because my favorite color's green, 3 stars, it's like, okay. Is that a thought that needed to lead? Is that helpful for it? It's not really massively beneficial for everybody, right? But anyways, yeah, just so you guys know, this is G10 now, and not for a long time. I remember this being the case. The Ontario Rat had injection mold plastic scales, and there were a ton of people who didn't realize they weren't G10. It's plastic. That's what it is. So I still have one. Yeah, I still have the large one here. These scales are not G10 on the, this is my second Rat in D2. These are now G10. They're still made in Taiwan. I actually don't know. I didn't even think, oh, it's here. Can we zoom in? Yeah, they just made it, a lot smaller. So let's compare the quality now. These knives are literally, I think, 5 years apart. And the Ontario rat, I mean, this rat could have been made years before then, right? So action right out of the box. I guess it feels about the same. The blade grind looks a little different. I think it looks a little better, right? The edge is completely uniform. The actual, it's a little, almost like that Benchmade toothiness. Feels fine. Flat ground blade, obviously, you know, this can be resharpened to, it's a, it's a little tear cutty, but it is cutting. This is the type of feeling where it feels like it needs to be stropped. It's fine, it's sharp. I wouldn't want to drag my finger down it, but I think if I stropped it, you know, maybe like 50 or so times per side, maybe, you know, closer to 100. You don't want to fatigue the edge, but I think then it would be, it's almost like it's just, they took it 98% of the way and it just needed to be stropped a little bit longer. But fine, it's sticky and kind of bitey, right? But it has that distinct feeling of almost kind of tearing through the paper. But that's okay, because at $95, if this is right around 63 HRC, right, touching it up, or after you use it for a bit and then you go to resharpen it, then, you know, it's that person's responsibility. Like, anybody who's going to buy this and use it presumably will eventually resharpen it. And regardless of how it came, you know, if the edge was 98% or 100% perfect, eventually it's going to be up to you to get the knife as sharp as you would prefer it to be, right? So I'm not necessarily upset with it not being an absolutely perfect edge. I think it's okay, right? Fit and finish looks good. I will immediately switch this pocket clip. I'm not going to leave it tipped down because that's just weird. That's a preference for me. I'm going to go tip up, right? The texture here, I think I started to explain myself. The texture on the original one is almost non-existent. It's almost kind of slippery, but it never really mattered because the lock-in was always really, really good. The texturing on this guy, do I have the little rats out here? Anyways, the texturing on this guy, I keep jumping around saying it, is quite a bit more aggressive. Quite a bit. Not crazy. I don't think it's deserving of the whiny review that I saw on Plate HQ, where the guy was like, "Oh, my pockets! Oh no! Oh no, my pocket!" Like, it's not. No. Like, I'll tell you what would be deserving of a review like that, and it's intentional. You know, it's the Spyderco. What's the one that's the fishing knife? It's not called a Siren, is it? Is it called a Siren? I can't remember. One of the ones that's meant for fishing. It has like the most aggressive texture, but that's intentionally done so because you would, you know, the people buying it, I mean, it's designed to be used in a setting where there's going to be a lot of water or things that are very slippery, right? It's a knife that's designed to be as grippy as possible. That would be an incredibly grippy, you know, comparing that to this is less than half. I would say this is fairly normal G10 texturing. Over time, will it slightly fray your pockets? Yeah, it'll take a long time. And if you just have one pair of pants, that would be the way that I would look at it. The lock bar on this is now more aggressive. The little teeth on there are more aggressive. That was the first thing I felt when I went to disengage that lock bar. It's also thinner than on the Rat 1, but it's fine. There's no blade play whatsoever. I would be shocked to find out that these don't still run on one Teflon washer. Like, I think the way that Ontario's always done it is there's two phosphor bronze washers, but there's also a nylon washer sandwiched in there as well. Right off the bat, the bigger rat feels a little easier to disengage. Like I've got a little more room. This I have some room, but not quite as much. You can see here. There's just a little more room to get in and disengage that, but it's really not a problem. This is not a knife that's going to like fall shut. It's just not, you know, what we're looking at. This is much more of like a 2000, 2010 to 2015 kind of like that. That's what you expect from the EDC knives, you know, like that. That's kind of what it feels like. But G10 steel liners and MagnaCut at 63.7, right, or right around there, right? Assuming that there's a range. It's that it sounds like their range is the optimal 62 to 64. All of these other little things, right, like, oh, the action or this or that, it hardly matters. This is a ridiculous tool. It is absolutely ridiculous. It is but a humble liner lock. I wouldn't expect it to do, crazy like fixed blade tasks, obviously. A lot of times, if you require a lock that is strong enough to stand up to what you're going to be regularly putting your folding knife through, it doesn't necessarily mean that folding knives with weaker locks than what you need are bad. It means you're probably in need of a fixed blade. You probably are using something, not incorrectly, but you're probably using a pocket knife in a way that you should be using a fixed blade or likely an entirely different tool. So that is literally all I need my liner locks to do. If it can stand up to that, it will stand up to literally everything I'm going to use it for, which is anything sane within the parameters of normal knife use, right? Light to medium duty cutting. That's what I'm going to do with it. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I love that they have kept these rounded thumb studs. I've always said that the thumb studs on the Ontario Rat are, they basically should be a guide for anybody looking to understand how to create thumb studs, comfortable and functional thumb studs. These have enough traction that you can get at them, but at the same time, that rounded or domed top allows you to flick the knife, and as your finger rolls over the top of it, it's not getting caught on some hard 90-degree ledge and uncomfortable, right? There's so many knives that I don't like to sit and deploy more than, once or twice in a row, because it just hurts, right? And people would be quick to point out, well, that's just people sitting around and fidgeting with it. Yeah, but also, taking a knife out to use it, even if I'm just opening it that one time just to take it out and use it, and then putting it away, I still don't like when the thumb stud is uncomfortable. I would prefer that one experience deploying it is also a comfortable experience. So the domed thumb stud on the Rat, in my opinion, is one of the best examples of a thumb stud ever. One of the downsides of the Ontario Rat is the ridiculous number of screws that are involved with its construction. Now, I notice here that this has one less now. Instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws on each side, we now have 4. We have 3 standoffs, which is totally unnecessary, still completely and totally unnecessary. I'm sorry. The last one on this version, the original, we had 1, 2, 3, 4. I always forget that on the big guy. I don't know about the small guy. I usually have the small guy out here, but the small guy's just not here today. I wonder if it's tucked in one of these pockets and I'm just not seeing it. Perhaps it's, oh, here it is. We can compare it with the small guy. So the small guy has 1, 2, 3, 4, just like the medium, and it also has 3 standoffs and 1 stop pin up here, but the stop pin has a screw, which I always point out is not necessary, but okay. Still though, one of the standoffs here is completely unnecessary. You have this one up here, and then you have this one here in the middle. This is, we don't need this one. I don't know why that's there, but you do have additional screws. And despite all of these years later, and however many, people complaining this for the same reason I complain, about the T6 screws, they are just like, nope, we still have a lot of screws. We still have an extra standoff, and they're still T6. So, okay. I mean, fine. Those are pretty minor. As far as fit and finish goes, it is center. There's no detent lash. The lockup is solid. Yeah. The edge gets a little wider. Like the cutting bevel gets a little wider right there. Not really that big of a deal. I don't want to be too harsh on this because the reality is despite all the little quirky things, right? It's probably one of the best value pocket knives under $100. Everybody was telling me, it's crazy. MagnaCut, Ontario Rat 1.5 and MagnaCut for, for $100. For $95, that's what this was. I bought this from Knife Center. And by the way, yes, I paid full price. They probably would have just sent me one, but I went ahead and just bought it. Here's your size comparison between the three. It is truly in the middle, and your overall blade length coming in at 7.5. So that is going to be a perfect knife for some people. This, like I said, basic liner lock, basic build, G10, sandwich construction, steel liners, but Magna Cut at 60, right around 63. Amazing. It's an amazing everyday pocket knife. Right? I'm not reviewing this, not yet. I'm gonna actually carry it and use it. But the Ontario Rat used to be my dedicated, vehicle knife. It was a knife that I kept in the console of my vehicle. Ultimately, I was like, I just end up the blade on this guy just went dull so quickly. I was using my multi-tool and now I have a Serge Panchenko utility knife in there. And it's got the replaceable blades, and I thought, well, I'll just go with that. But I'll put this in here, and if I end up reaching for this more, it might just stay in there. I don't think it would be that difficult to touch up with this being Magna Cut. If I need to resharpen it, But I think this is great. It's a great combination of things. Magna Cut, obviously, very, very tough. Good edge retention. At this HRC hardness, it really should be at or surpassing S30V. I forget exactly where that is. The Magna Cut optimally, I think, is at the same level of S30V, which is pretty good edge retention. But the incredible corrosion resistance and toughness combined with that edge retention is really what makes it special, especially considering how easy it is to touch up. To strop or to, resharpen or reprofile, etc. So very few other companies are offering, people have different preferences, but when it comes to a really, really good blade geometry, because the Rat does have good blade geometry, a really good steel, and a really good heat treatment, the combination of those three things are very much lacking in the vast majority of the sub $100 knife world. So, everybody who told me that this was a really good deal, you were correct and I was wrong. You'll have to excuse my skepticism, because I still, if you were to tell me tomorrow, hey, there's another knife under $100, that's Magna Cut and whatever, combination of materials, and it's an amazing deal, I would say I need to know the HRC hardness, right? That's the part that I'm not going to trust as much, because it is expensive to get Magna Cut to this range, absolutely. But as it sits, this is pretty nice. I think it's a pretty freaking good deal for under $100. With this version of the Rat being $95, there's no universe where I would even glance at the OS 8 or 10 or whatever the crappy version of. Like, I have the 2 and D2, but I think that it actually ended up being that their OS versions of the knives had better heat treatments there for a while. But I won't even glance at the D2 or OS versions anymore. I would just suggest people jump right to the Magna Cut version. So this is pretty cool. I am a fan of this. I'm going to carry it. I'm going to use it. Obviously, it's just a $100 knife. It's not. This isn't Grail status. This is tool status. So pretty neat. In these types of circumstances, I really love being proven wrong, because the end result is something really, really special here. So these are available. You can buy them. I'll probably have a Knife Center link down. I'll have Knife Center, Blade HQ, wherever they're available. But yeah, this is super cool. So anyways, thanks to Taylor for doing the hardness testing. Thanks to you guys for letting me know that this existed. That's going to be it today. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe, because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.